So we were asking the question, how do you improve skill? How do you improve speed in E+R equals O? I like to look at it this way. Again, let me go back, right? We're talking about multiplying the skill with how we do this by the speed with which we can actually execute it. That's what makes up this response quality portion. So let's look at what goes into skill, right? No magic to this, just a bunch of obvious stuff. First thing that affects skill is your talent level, period. You have the talent you have, you don't have the talent you don't have. Can you get more talent? You cannot. So that's a fixed quality. You were born with it, it's what you got. Now, can you not maximize your talent? Is that possible? Can you not use your talent? Is that possible? For sure. So this is about saying this. A huge part of your skill with this is ensuring that you're what? You're executing skills that align with your talent, and if you lack talent in something, you've got to work much harder to build the skill in it. If you have the talent, maximize it. If you don't have the talent, you're actually going to have to work harder to build that skill. Second piece, your skill is going to come from where you get teaching. Teaching is information. Teaching is in this environment. This is where you get info. It's the amount and the quality of the teaching that you actually get. That's why the criticism filtering strategy is so important. Third piece is training. What's the difference between teaching and training? Teaching is sharing information. Yep. Training is doing it. Yep. It's physical, it's action, it's the doing. Okay? Which do people more often in development, which do people typically tend to do more of? And it depends on what the skill is. How about this? Do you tend to do more of the teaching or more of the training from a baseball perspective? Training. Do you tend to do more of the teaching or more of the training from a leadership perspective? More teaching. Why do we think leadership sometimes suffers? We get better at baseball because we do a hell of a lot of what? Training. We don't get as good at the leadership and the mental side because we do a lot more what? Teaching, and we rely on our, right? You want to get better at this shit, you have to train. Just like baseball, okay? And the last piece is time. These skills require the time they require to build and grow. What is the only way to decrease the amount of time it takes to build skill in this? What's the only way to shorten the time? Hint, I said it yesterday. What's the shortcut? Discipline. Can you get more talent? Does discipline improve your talent? Nope. But you can what? Get better teaching, more of it, and the right kind. Do better training, more of it, and the right kind. And the time it takes for you to build skill will magically shrink. It's not a secret. You don't get more time, and it's going to take a certain amount to actually get better at this. The only way to shorten it, because we can't get more talent, is to get better teaching and do better, higher quality training. Does this make sense? And you'll notice, right? I don't want to make this any more complex or spend more time on it than we have to. That's it right there. It's simple. But what? What did I say yesterday? It's speed, but it forces you to what? Act. And you have to act, and you have to face the consequences. And when you face the consequences, it's going to steal your excuses. And most people, what was the fifth one? It's my personal favorite, right? When you put something simple on the table. I love it competitively because you put something simple on the table, and most people just won't do it. For whatever reason, in today's scenario, people think, ooh, it's simple. Well, it can't just be that. Well, that's cool. Then just show me what you're getting in all four of those, and show me how disciplined your plan is in it, and show me how you use your time. Audit your life. It tells the truth. Audit right there, those four things. It will tell the truth on what's actually happening. So that's the skill side. Second one is speed. How do we actually improve the speed that we process this information? Number one is keep it simple. The more complex it is, the longer it's going to take. Just outside of this, the more variables you're going to have to calculate, which means I'm going to have to calculate a lot more stuff, which is going to take more time, more opportunities for mistakes. Second one is what systems do I have in place? All right, we were just talking a minute ago. It doesn't matter, at least initially, it doesn't matter what systems you pick as long as you actually have systems that you implement. Right? Your system and your system and your system might be different, but you have to have one that you're operating with. The second you try to operate quickly without a system and just kind of have it, like things start to gravitate out. And you look at what do we have systems for, right? We have systems for roads, we have systems for money, we have systems for taxes, and when that system gets big and complex, what happens to the speed of it? Just watching life, right? Anything that grows to a big, complex system always gets bogged down. That's why people don't like working with the government. It takes way too long, way too big complex of a system. Keep it simple, keep it really straightforward and systematic. We can process a lot faster. Third thing is start applying those simple systems to the very specific situations that you are in, the context. Start overlaying it to the systems that you're actually encountering. Now you're increasing your speed in how you process them. And the last one is self-awareness. It's knowing who you are, knowing how you operate, how your emotions work, knowing what your talent is. Having talent is one thing. Being self-aware of what you have and don't have is a whole other thing. So you multiply those two together, what you have is you end up having 8 variables that affect your skill and your speed. Right? On the skill side, it's talent, teaching, training, time. On the speed side, it's simple systems, understanding situations, and having the self-awareness. Put those 4 together, and you look, there's 8 variables that affect how we do this, and how many of them does it take going sideways to significantly move us from one quadrant to another? How many variables would have to shift? 1. Raise your hand if you've ever brought the right skill to the wrong situation. Or you brought the wrong skill to the right situation. Right? You just did the wrong thing with good intention. We missed. Or sometimes raise your hand if you've ever misread a situation before. Yeah. So this is the combination of those two things.